get started then, Aaron, I just want to thank you for taking the time to chat with us here at the Christian Beat. We'll start with Resurrection Hope and kind of see where the conversation takes us from there.
Beautiful.
Awesome, awesome. So, Resurrection Hope is the most recent single that you released. It's about, what, a week or two ago at this point. Do you want to just start with kind of when you first thought of that track and kind of like what your first interaction with it was?
Yeah, for sure. It's when if you listen to the song, it's a big, anthemic, high energy, uh, Easter resurrection oriented song, but it started kind of in the opposite place of that. It actually started out of uniquely, I guess, out of a place of grief. Church that I served in for the last 3 years. I just recently moved to Tennessee, so it was the church I was serving at in Texas. We tragically and suddenly lost our senior pastor 2 Octobers ago. And it was just, devastating. It was honestly, I think I felt like the congregation was just disillusioned with the moment. And, uh, our pastor had a young family. So as you can imagine, you're just kind of grappling with all that that means. And for several months, the church was just, Sunday mornings kind of felt like prayer services. They didn't feel quite normal. They were somber. And slowly, as the weeks passed, as we neared Easter, the conversation became around, well, what does resurrection mean for us in situations like this? And so that Easter, which I guess this would have been Easter a year ago, just really took on a different meaning because we were kind of viewing loss, and we were viewing what the hope of the resurrection means, not just for the life to come but for life now. And what I saw was people that were just, especially his family and closest friends, but the whole church family worshiping with a deeper sense of hope. And that's kind of where the thought of I want to try to write a song that expresses that resurrection, is not just really Easter is not just about Easter eggs and parties and things like that, but like it's got this deep, tangible, real like bedrock to it that is a part of our faith. And so when I sat down with my friends Colton and Jess to write that day, it was basically, can we try to put that into a song? And I'm just grateful that it worked out because I've loved leading the song because it has this kind of rooted feel to it alongside the anthemic celebratory uh, thing as well. And so that's the story that it came out of, and I think maybe because of that, it'll always hold a little bit of a special place in my life and heart for sure.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm curious since it was rooted in such a particular circumstance and kind of piece of life. Now that it's been a little bit, has the meaning of the song or kind of your viewing of it morphed as time has gone on? And especially
Yeah.
seeing others interact with it as well?
Yeah, it has. I think this song has helped me. There's even a line in verse 2 that says, a holy defiance. And I think I think this song has helped me kind of rise up and declare the victory of Jesus like with a little bit more umph in my voice and in my life. Like, okay, like no matter what darkest thing comes against us, like we're going to stand in this. And so I find myself like something rising up in me as I sing this, and I see that in the people that are singing it as well, especially the bridge kind of circles this death wears your sting. It's swallowed up in victory. And it's hard to sing that at the top of your lungs without feeling like, okay, it's swallowed up in victory. Let's go. It definitely is an energizer and a fun moment when you're leading it.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And how has kind of like listener response been since you've released it? I know it's only been out a week or two at this point, but have you seen kind of other stories come in that have impacted you? Again, not the same situation, but they're able to like find their place in that song?
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's just been out a week, but I was just reading through the comments on YouTube and Instagram yesterday, and one person said, I can't believe there's a song. How did they say it? I think they said that's so exciting and challenging and comforting at the same time. And I was like, yeah, that's how I feel about it. And I think a lot of people feel the desire to like sing the victory of Christ with some excitement, some boldness in the Easter season. And so I that part has seemed to connect, and I'm really eager. It's like we're still a few weeks out now before Easter feels like it's really ramping up. So I think there's going to be more as churches pick this song up in their set list and things like that. But yeah, it's been super well received so far, one weekend.
That's great. I was actually going to ask you if you were starting to think of anything to kind of pair with it this Easter season to kind of make it special, or if you were waiting to see how it's received.
That's a good question. I haven't thought about what songs I would pair with it. A worship leader friend who's leading it this Sunday told me that they were teaching it on the front half and then they were reprising it with some other song on the back half of the sermon. I need to ask him what they're going to do with that. But um, yeah, I mean, the thing I like about this song is with the chorus really rooted mostly on Christ came, Christ died, and he rose. Here's what that means. I feel like it has a little bit of a timeless sense to it in that regard. So I'm hoping that this can be a song that we teach this year, but is good for a number of Easters that your church can just kind of latch on to and keep singing.
Oh, absolutely. And I believe when you released that, you also kind of teased more new music was going to come later this year as well. I don't want to get you in trouble by any means, but do you want to talk
No,
a little bit about that?
I'm excited to talk about it because last year was the year of writing and creating and making, but not releasing very much. I just released one song last year, and some of that was because I was signing with integrity, and so I was a part of a new deal. And so 2025 is my year. It's going to be a year full of releases. Yeah, this is the first release of 2025, but every 5 weeks for the spring, I've got an EP that's releasing out. So it'll be January, March, April, May,
Okay.
all new releases, all songs that are I'm super excited about, and they're all different. The very next one that's coming out is completely different than this like big up tempo ballad, and and then we're working on a live recording later this spring, early summer that'll release in the fall. So I couldn't be more excited. I've been in a long season of writing. I've been doing a ton of great collaborating with amazing writers and producers, and so it's like a friend of mine was like, man, does it feel like the wait was worth it? And I was like, I don't know. It felt like I was holding on to these songs for a long time. So yeah, I'm kind of like a kid in a candy store. I'm excited that it's releasing, and you get to feel a little bit of the joy of just like creating things and put them out in the world to see what happens.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I know that you're also involved with your ministry, the Way of Worship, and I'm
Yeah.
curious with the heart that you have there, how kind of where that first started or where that first came from you.
Yeah. Well, it started with me. I have wonderful parents that love me and have been amazing parents, but I didn't really come into the faith through my family. And so what that meant is early on in my faith walk, I really needed mentors. And it's been awesome to see as the Lord has worked in my life. He's brought mentors into my parents' life and stuff like that. But all along my journey, I've kind of had to seek out spiritual mothers and fathers, if you will. And somewhere along that, I think God started putting a passion in me to help others that were, that I could to help spiritually invest in them through discipleship, to help um, worship leaders, especially people that do similar things to what I did. I would not be where I'm at without. I could list probably five people who've made substantial sacrificial impact in my life. And and I wouldn't be where I'm at because of that. And so, I feel like the burden came when I was in my 20s of like helping other people out, but I didn't have much to offer, at that point. And so the more experienced I've gotten, the more wisdom I've gained, it's been like just a way that the Lord's used me. So we decided to actually start a ministry called the Way of Worship, where we just come alongside worship leaders, songwriters, musicians, and try to help them grow spiritually, try to help them become great at what they do so that they can serve the church better. And it's been super rewarding. There's probably not anything that I enjoy doing more than that. Maybe it's right up there with songwriting and leading worship for me.
Absolutely. And I have to imagine that there's probably some type of cycle of you're giving in the ministry, but you're also receiving in that ministry. And in your own work, you're seeing the impact. And I just can't imagine, the whole breadth of that.
Oh yeah, I mean, you feel like you receive more than you give all the time because these are amazing young leaders, and they're amazingly gifted. They have a heart for the Lord. One of the probably the thing that I feel like I received the most is you just kind of remember what it was like to start out and to be early on in something. And whenever you're young and starting something, you have a certain amount of like excitement and just raw passion that's there. And so being able to help young people, it's kind of calls you back to your first love, and keeps you excited about it. And so yeah, I feel like I gain as much as I give for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I know we're getting close to time, but I did want to kind of just give you one more opportunity to just share what's on your heart and what you're praying for as those interact with the music that you've been working on. It's going to be coming out throughout this year, and kind of what you hope people receive from being able to listen to that music.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, my biggest desire in the music that I write is to try to be as authentically vulnerable as I can with my lyrics, and also do it in a way that the church can sing it. So it's not so like authentic and singer songwritery that no church could sing it. But I'm trying to bring a sense of honesty in worship, authenticity that allows the church to just really come around these songs. And so, you get it in a big song like Resurrection Hope. This next song is called Simply Jesus. Like I mentioned, it's this real kind of cinematic, a little bit more like my song Abide.
Okay.
Um, it's prayerful. Um, and so I'm trying to give, if I had to summarize it in one phrase, it's like I'm really trying to give people songs for the journey, songs for the pilgrimage, if you will. Like if you're trying to find songs that you relate to as you follow Jesus and that help you hopefully follow him better, that's the ones I'm trying to write. So be on the lookout for the new songs. I hope they're helpful. I hope everyone loves them.
That's awesome. Awesome. Well, I just want to thank you again, Aaron, for taking the time to chat with us today. I've really enjoyed getting to hear more about your heart behind the music.
Yeah, thank you.